Hello, everyone, and welcome to Commentary as Magic's spoiler discussion stream for Defenders of Equestria. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
I am Emperor Bugle.
Big Cheese.
And currently beating up a computer, Aracat.
And Living Silver.
Yeah, you're not the last one anymore, Ara.
What? Well, alright, my bad.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Oxford commas.
Sure, we'll go with that. Well, it's been a while since we've had the chance to talk about some of these cards, and I am excited for the opportunities that some of these, I'll use the word recent relatively loosely, spoilers have provided. What do you guys think?
I think there's stuff to talk about for sure.
There is
I know
things to talk about, like when
one
are we
card
going to get the
definitely.
Rainbow Shine spoiler?
We already had the Rainbow
What the
Shine spoiler.
opportunities-
No, I want the art, though.
Okay, we had the Rainbow Shine spoiler.
Ah. But it's not Rainbow. Anyway.
Rainbow Shine is so good we have to get multiple spoilers for her. Have to drag out the spoiler fun. Anyway,
I don't know what you're worried about. She's just going to get banned before the
No.
pre-release anyway.
Well, no. Unacceptable.
you know what's going to happen. Well, before we dive in and start discussing the first card, which is up here, we have some exciting information for those of you who are watching this stream right now. We have appreciated the feedback that viewers, subscribers, players all across the world have offered to us in regards to what we can do to make our stream more enjoyable and what they like and what they'd like to see more of. And we want to say thank you to all of you who have done that. So, thank you, first off.
Yes, thank you.
It helps.
Thank you, every pony. No. Not with the every pony, but seriously, thanks.
It is really helpful to keep things running and to help us keep improving. And we're actually looking for more feedback. So what we would like to do is to ask anyone who is viewing this particular stream to feel free at the end of the stream, after you watch and tell us how wrong we are about our opinions on these cards, which they are just opinions, send us an email to commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com, and we'll get that typed in chat here. And we will randomly select one person who has sent us an email for this stream to receive a special prize on behalf of Commentary is Magic, which we will send to you. And the first time around, this prize is going to be a, drumroll please, Marks in Time Pack Drafter. So if you're hunting one of the particular CMC mains, you might get lucky and get that one. You can also get some booster packs included in there and pull great ultra rares like Thunderlane.
Yes.
Yes.
Ultra Rare the Thunderlane, yes.
Definitely the best ultra rare.
Most importantly, there is a promo Kevin.
Yeah, promo Kevin
in
is
those
pretty important.
packs. Yes.
And guaranteed.
What? It's like the 202 Spitfire. There's no Kevin in there.
It's just Bulk and all the other town's ponies in one card.
Personally, I think it's Diamond's Tiara because that picture was taken before her redemption and she is smiling.
That seems like a pretty good argument for me. So
Theoretically, a pack drafter also can include an Equestrian Odysseys pack.
in theory, though, I don't think anyone's ever seen that.
Not more recently. They did have some of those at the beginning, but we are getting a little off track here.
Yes. Anyway, we do really crave that feedback. Some of you have already been kind enough to send us your feedback, and again, that has been helpful. But remember, just send an email to commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com, and somewhere in the title, just post feedback or drawing or giveaway or whatever it happens to be, and let us know what you thought about the stream. Any positive feedback you have, any constructive criticism you may have, any feedback is good feedback.
And we are especially interested in your thoughts on the cards that we're about to talk about.
Absolutely. We try to highlight opinions that come up in chat in the middle of the stream, but sometimes we just can't get to them all in time. So if you have particular opinions, especially if they are vastly different than our own about these cards, please share them with us, and we will try our best to bring them up on our next stream, which hopefully will start coming more frequently here.
Depends on how fast we get spoilers.
That's
What was
true.
the deal? Every 3 spoilers we do a stream?
Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
Well, on the weekend.
Right.
Otherwise, we're going to be going, it's Tuesday. Guess what? We're doing a spoiler stream. Oh, it's Wednesday. Spoiler stream.
Thursday, spoiler stream! Every day!
Hopefully we reach this point.
That would be
Yes,
nice.
we're going to get... Yeah, if we didn't put that caveat on it, Rob would, just to spite us, put 3 spoilers at like 6 a.m. on Monday.
Oh my
And
god.
we would have to do a spoiler stream.
He would too.
Best
Wait,
Prince-
maybe we should do this.
Yeah,
Best
maybe we should
Princess?
do this.
This sounds kind of cool. Princess Rob, we want more.
No, this is sorry. This is a terrible idea.
No, this is a great idea. I don't know what you're
It's
talking
the best idea.
about. Well,
Anyway,
yes.
we should probably actually get around to talking about the actual things.
I mean, I guess. So,
Things.
let's start with the first card that we had spoiled after our initial run, which is DJ Pony Caroler. It's a 3 action token cost, 1 pink requirement, 3 power pink friend that says, a unicorn, I'm sorry, that says when this card enters play, reveal the top card of your deck. If you reveal an event this way, draw 3 cards. Okay.
So, basically, at its worst, she's like an Apple Brown Betty if you are playing a pink main, and that's not bad. At its best, it also gets you 3 action tokens, or not action tokens, 3 cards, which happens to be the cost that you're paying for anyway. You're paying 3 AT for 3 cards. That's what you can do normally already. So, at worst, she is plain, equivalent value, and at her best, she is like double value.
The other thing about this card, was that when it was announced, we were told that it was part of a cycle.
Oh, yes.
So it also makes me think of what else would be in this cycle. Could the theme be? And I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, who else was caroling?
I think Doctor was, Muffins was,
Rainbow Shine is clearly a part of the cycle.
of course she
No,
is.
I'm pretty sure she's not.
Rainbow Shine is a part of every cycle in our hearts.
We have hearts?
As strong as horses.
So then would the cycle revolve around cards entering play?
It probably revolves around revealing the top card of your deck.
And then things happening. I could see that potentially being a cycle.
I mean, so.
Maybe, but that revealing an event this way suggests purple, even if
Right.
you're getting draw out of it. So that doesn't quite fit in this case. I don't know.
Maybe it's if they could be revealing a resource, reveal a friend.
Yeah, I don't think they all have to be reveal an event. Just reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a blah, do blah.
Well, except there's only 4 card types that you can even get into a draw deck. So
Well, you're restricting yourself. I mean, it could be if it has 2 power, if it's a unicorn,
Even.
So you're
if
mostly
it costs more than 3.
you're mostly just referring to like a deck check type mechanic thing there.
Yeah, just check the top card of your deck. It doesn't have to be a specific card type or whatever.
If you reveal a rainbow shine.
That's a little
No.
too narrow, but yes, something along those
Sounds
lines.
like a great card.
I support this card.
It's
So-
a
Besides,
Rainbow
we
Shine.
have 6 card types. Maybe this is just implying that we now have a way to put main characters and problems on top of your deck.
Oh boy.
What we do
This-
know, draw 3 cards is typically associated with pink, so that part is probably the part that cycles for sure.
Yeah, I would
but-
imagine if you're going to do that top deck check, then the effect will change, and orange might be something like exhaust, and white might be something like I don't know, bring something back from your discard pile to your hand, or I don't know, something along those lines.
Yellow
Are
could
we
be
getting
like, do
spoilers here?
something lame.
No, you are not getting spoilers here. I'm just word idea vomiting.
So does this mean those are things that are definitely not showing up?
I didn't say that.
Hush.
You are not backing me into a corner here. So
Okay,
people,
well-
when this card did come out, a lot of people were incredibly excited about the possibilities with this card and any kind of flickering mechanic. I want to touch very briefly on this here.
Yeah, mostly Minuet. Some people also mentioned Portal.
Right. Those
And
are basically the two big effects that we have right now that can do this.
Yeah,
and I
and
guess
Star-
dip in the pool.
yeah.
And, yeah.
yeah, well, and Star Swirl Research was also mentioned a lot.
Sure, as part
Just
of
as a
either of
way
those.
to easily trigger her.
And that's
So
fine.
in that case, you're only drawing 2 cards.
Right. That's fine in theory, but it's not actually getting you any value. And I think that's the thing that people need to actually watch is if you go and play this card in some kind of pink-purple deck that either tries to use Minuet, who is a 2-cost friend on her own that also costs 2 to activate her ability, or use it in conjunction with Interdimensional Portal and, say, F-Stop or some other form of event recursion to get that back so that you can bounce her repeatedly. And you're playing Star Swirl Research to guarantee that she will trigger and draw you 3 when she enters play. Well, she's going to trigger regardless, but that it will be successful and you'll draw 3 when she enters play. You're spending at least 2 action tokens to be able to do that. You're requiring yourself to have more cards than just DJ on her own, and with Star Swirl being one of those 3 cards, the only thing this is letting you do is pay 1 to draw 1 outside of your main phase.
Right.
Yep.
All
No,
in all...
Okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
So that said, no, this is probably not something that's really interesting to keep doing once you've got this on the field. But if you need a 3-power pink body somewhere and you've got a Star Swirl, why not draw 2 cards when you're, getting the body
Right,
anyway?
yeah.
Sure. There are situations where you could just, the stars align and things end up working well, where you can move her up with Interdimensional Portal at immediate speed and also get some card draw, but I don't think it's anything you want to build a whole engine around.
Right, yeah. I
No,
think where she's
correct.
going to shine is with pink decks that really need 4 entry and might not want to flip their main immediately, like, say, Lyra.
Okay.
And she's just better than Apple Brown Betty in that case, because sometimes you draw 3 cards.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
But in general, I think she is a fine card, but she's not an amazing card. I'm glad that this card exists, but I'm not rushing to build decks around her.
Yeah, not in Constructed.
I'm just waiting for the doubtless going to be white Octavia that pairs with this somehow.
Of course it will.
Yeah. And
Let's give rating out of 5 for Limited and Constructed.
sure.
I'd put this probably at about a 2.5 in Limited, I think. Just solid.
That's it.
Well,
I would say 3 in limited.
So,
Yeah.
friends and characters in Limited are so important to have. You really need to make sure that you've got access to those. And she does provide good entry. I guess I could go as high as 3, but I don't think I'd
Yeah,
go any
like-
higher than that.
If you're an entry friend in limited, it does depend on the rest of the set. But
Chris
Yeah.
we've
Bates has a
had
good
sets
point.
where if you are playable, if it's a playable card as entry, then a minimum 3. Like, that's how desperate you are for entry. So,
I don't.
Keep in mind what the main is pink for limited in the new set as
Yeah,
well.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. No,
Yeah, I would actually put a 2.523 on her, depending on what color your main is. Like as a pink main, I would consider her a solid pick, but as a not pink main, I would consider running her, but I would be, since you actually have to splash into her, I would probably prefer something else.
So Cursed Chords brought up an
yes.
interesting point in chat, which is this does reveal the top card of your deck. So hey, information.
It's true.
Good
Yeah.
point.
If you fail, you know what you're going to flip in your next face-off, as long as you don't draw that card before that.
Or if you have other cards that use the same effect of reveal this card.
Yes, that too.
Or if you reveal it and it's an owl, you're going to be like, I'm just going to draw that.
Or if you happen to be playing the Discord purple main.
Yes.
Sure, I could see that working.
If you were playing the Discord purple main and
Never mind.
you
Trading
I mean, you
traditions
reveal it
and-
anyway. When you play a friend, you reveal the top card of your deck anyway with Discord. So yeah.
Yeah, but it would give you a heads up. You're like, oh, do I
Well,
want to play it friend right now?
It doesn't matter because you reveal the friend off of Discord's ability,
Right.
regardless.
Yeah.
Like you just revealing the top card of your deck twice.
Yeah.
But okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
Anyway, another question that was brought up in chat was, what do we think her rarity is?
Um,
I'm expecting common, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I could
Agreed.
see this as common as a cycle.
Or uncommon.
Yeah, I would
but
not be surprised to see uncommon. I don't think this would be.
Not any higher.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect this to be rare material, but you know, we've seen some bad rares before.
Oh yes.
As a
Yes,
rare,
we
it's going
have.
to be better than that one Princess Luna, but hopefully it's an uncommon.
With the power cost and requirement here, it feels like an uncommon to me.
It honestly feels like a common to me. It's so simple.
Maybe.
Like having it fills the role of entry again for a pink main, or trading traditions into pink main, and I think that's where you want to put your entry or at common.
Yeah, and especially as part of a cycle. I guess most of the cycles are done at common rarity rather than uncommon rarity.
Yeah,
I mean, we do have the
point.
showdowns, but then again, that's not a perfect cycle.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next card here. This
Oh,
is
boy.
the Squizzard. Scourge of Spiketopia.
Aaron must be version 2.
Also known as Rarity Schmarity.
Schmarity?
Schmarity?
Oh, down there.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's what Spike was calling her in the D&D episode.
Hey, not D&D. Ogres and Obulettes.
Can we
Because-
petition to change Dungeons and Dragons to Ogres and Obulettes? Because that's a much better name.
No.
I mean,
we cannot.
Hasbro does own both franchises, so no.
Hail Corporate?
No.
Anyway,
So
let's-
Squizzard.
yeah. Bugle, tell us what we're looking at here.
Okay, so Squizzard, the Scourge of Spiketopia, is a 4-power, 0-bonus troublemaker with 2 abilities. The first one is that main characters can't contribute their power to face-offs involving this card.
Hello, Applejack. How you doing?
Note that this ability is for both players. So if Squizzard somehow becomes epic, your main character also does not provide power.
Hey, or challenged with Pipsqueak.
Or challenged with Pipsqueak. My mistake. Or is that Enterplay's mistake? No, we
It's
shouldn't
nobody-
beg on them for that.
There's no mistakes. There's just happy little accidents.
Yes. Happy little accidents. There we go.
Happy
And then the
trees.
second ability is opponents can't play troublemakers here. This one's only for them as opposed to the obvious comparison, Aramospi, which is troublemakers cannot be uncovered there. So you can still play troublemakers there, and then they will uncover as normal, and you'll get rid of your Squizzard. But it stops them entirely. So this is pretty clearly an anti-farming main.
Yep. Maine.
Troublemaker, whatever.
Anti-main farming troublemaker. Honestly, it's just an well, yeah, it is an anti-main.
Yeah, it's an anti-farming. I mean, it has some use against control as well. Because, in the control versus control mirror, usually what you want to do is sit up behind an Aramospi so they can't drop a villain there. And you can do the same, similar here.
Yep. Now, Leo, you brought up some interesting points earlier that when you can take an Aramospi and you can cutie mark the Starlight Glimmer friend to drop it into play face up, where an opponent has a face down troublemaker, then their troublemaker is not going to uncover. And you can't necessarily do that here. You can't react in that same timing. So how would you see yourself using this card?
I would use it in a case where there is nothing set yet. Dropping it with Starlight Glimmer full sets it up before the opponent has a chance to play something.
Okay, so
In a meta where this card exists, people are going to be expecting, all right, you're going to try and stop me on my farming. You play a card, they're going to play their villain right away. This wizard pops up, then yeah, a villain will come flip over and take it over. But you can't do that if you placed the Squizzard into play fresh off with Glimmerful, or I'm trying to think of what else.
Twinkle Shine will do it.
Zeroed Out,
Bell
and
Tower.
and the Purple Dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah, any instant uncover effect as well. Bell Tower, Discord Dubious, Lucky Streak, and Rising Star.
And
Yeah.
Giselle.
And Gazelle, yes.
If you can pump it.
So I do like that we're seeing troublemakers at decent power and no point total still. This was something that we saw kind of a shift to in the Equestrian Odysseys block coming from Premiere, where basically everything was worth 1 point minimum. There were a few exceptions to that. But this is really nice because troublemakers have generally been a liability for you to play, especially in a limited environment. And even though Equestrian Odysseys in the limited environment did provide more desirable troublemakers, the problem with that was you had decks running Rainbow Dash and, more importantly, decks running Applejack. So sure, your troublemaker's not worth any points, but you just permanently made their main character 2 power stronger and allowed them to move that power counter around as they saw fit.
Well, yeah, you're saying that they're a liability. No, I'm sorry. Troublemakers were still a liability through this entire block because, oh, look, there's Applejack. Oops.
Right. However, Squizzard addresses that. Squizzard, assuming it is a troublemaker at a low enough rarity to see, good prevalence in drafts or sealed.
Common or uncommon.
Right, exactly. You can play this without fear of your opponent just beating it up instantly and getting some huge benefit from their main. That is in no small part due to the fact that we don't have Applejack Ambassador of Honesty in, the main cycle anymore. But still, even if you were to end up in that particular main cycle, you don't have to worry about that from Squizzard.
You have to worry about it less. Just the fact that Applejack is boosted in and of itself is a pretty big threat.
It's true. Although Rainbow Dash, I think, is a bigger threat just on her own without getting the power.
Well, mostly because it's like, hey, here's a Thunderlane.
Thunderlane. Best you are.
Who's Thunderlane?
I don't know.
Jake.
Never heard of him.
Jake.
Best ultra in the game. That's who he is.
So let's give this one a rating. I think this one's going to have a bit more of a weight in constructed play because farming decks are going to be more prevalent in the constructed format than they are in limited, just because it's very unlikely you're going to be able to pull multiple epics, and I doubt anyone's going to make the Pipsqueak mistake again. Sorry, Pipsqueak happy accident again.
Heard that.
So I'm going to go ahead and give this one about a 3... Probably about a 3 out of 5 in limited, and maybe up as high as a 3.5 in constructed.
I think I'd honestly just give it a 3 in both. To be honest, it's a very solid card, but it's not something you build around, and that's kind of where I draw the line between 3 and 3.5. At 3.5, it's something I want to be building around.
I can only take 4.
Highly supplements my strategy.
4 is something that you build around, 4 or higher.
We just have this arbitrary rating system here. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, it's all documented too. But
no, it's not.
So
Go ahead,
I actually have a question before we finish with our ratings. Would people replace Aramospi with the Squizzard?
It depends on the deck.
Yeah, I agree. It's situational.
If I am playing pink or purple, and I have access to Zecora or Cardboard Box, I would much rather have Armospi. I think Armospi's ability to prevent troublemakers from uncovering is stronger than preventing them from being played. and 5 power is more than 4 power. So if I have Zecora or Cardboard Box, I already have ways to deal with mains.
Yeah.
If I don't have them, then I'm going to be looking at Squizzard a lot more.
Now, more specifically, I'd say you have ways to deal with Applejack as a main. I think there is still an argument to be made with Rainbow Dash because blue has so many immediate movement speed tricks in a purple deck. Cardboard Box obviously still serving the same function, but immediate speed movement does not have the same punch against blue that it does against mono orange farming.
Yes.
True. No, I'm sitting here going, you can't make blanket statements about just swapping this in wholesale for Aramosphy. No, they are not substitutes. They both do different things. Sometimes they will complement each other. Sometimes you should replace one for the other.
Yeah. Also, it kind of depends on the meta.
Yes, this is highly dependent on the meta. If we're talking about a let's say late Absolute Discord meta when it was Pile and Mod wrecking everything, yeah, this gets a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah.
So that does speak to the value of this card, though, because Aramosphy is pretty well respected in terms of cards that are used to combat farming decks. So if it's on par, then dependent on the deck, it sounds like this Squizzard does have some value.
So
yeah.
I would make the argument that Aramosphy is seen as a good anti-farming card, mostly just because most farming decks are going to be slowed down by a turn with Aramosphy unless you've got other tricks behind it as well. Now, there are some decks that can make use of this, Zippo, but, sorry, I don't know what that was. Get that out
Puppies!
Sick. But I think that Squizzard does have, like Leo says, he kind of fills in a role similar to Aramosphy. And Aramosphy's not a bad card by any means. I like it.
No.
It's a good card.
Yeah, I think another factor is Aramosphy is going to be stronger against control, and Squizzard is going to be stronger against farming.
I agree. I think that's a good call.
So if your meta is 5 control decks and 3 aggro decks and 0 farming decks, keep the Aramosphys.
Sonnet Scroll in chat asks, would you run both? Maybe. Depends on what your Troublemaker's searching options are.
Yeah.
If you've got, sneak attack or things like that, I could maybe see that. And if you've got the room for it, sure.
Yeah, if you're running purple with sneak attack, you could run, say, 1 sneak attack, 2 Squizzards, and 2 Aramosphys, and whatever other Troublemakers you want to run.
Nightmare Moon, Yellow Parasprite.
And if you're running heavy purple, you could do something sneaky like sneak attack into Squizzard, then play what is it? Nightmare Scenario. Now you have a Squizzard face up at a problem, and fun times.
Good times overall. Next card.
Next
Card
card.
number
Been on.
3 of 3. Star.
All right. Hey, who's that handsome fellow?
I don't know, who is this loser?
Most useless.
He looks pretty
Dang.
lazy to me.
I'm pretty sure that's Fluttershy, guys.
It does. She got some paint on her or something.
All right, so our next spoiler is Fluttershy. Guidance Counselor.
That's not a spoiler. Oh, no. We're okay, so here it is. It's Rarity Guidance Counselor. When your opponent gains a point, you may exhaust this card. If you do, they lose a point.
Best card NA.
Print it.
No problems with that card at all.
Nope, absolutely not.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Disclaimer, this card does not stop them from winning the game if they get to 15 points.
Amazeballs.
That's right, because players do win the game immediately upon reaching 15. Cheese, tell us what we're looking at here.
Well, we've got a 2 for 4, which automatically is pretty good. But
No, we have a 4 for 2.
no, 2.
My way of denoting things is better than yours.
Exactly. The 3 wreck though, but that's pretty standard on these higher power 4 cost cards. However,
unless they have a flip condition of lose the game.
Yeah. And this is a pretty bad condition on this one, actually, is when this card is sent or moved home, retire it. So you've got this power, but you're paying for it by if it ever gets sent home. So at the end of a problem face-off, and everyone goes home, it would be retired.
I think you're missing something there.
Yeah, it has this little keyword, but we don't know what it means. So, like, whatever.
So, like, whatever.
Yeah,
Yep,
whatever.
okay. New keyword. We're just not going to discuss it.
No,
on to the
just
next
select
card.
whatever.
Should we
There
discuss
is no
it
next
first outside of the keyword and then focus on the keyword?
Well, we don't know what the keyword means.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know what the keyword means.
Yes, let's save the rampant
so we can discuss
speculation.
what we know, and then we can speculate.
Sure. Seems fair. So,
Yeah.
baseline here, we're seeing something in the same vein as Marble Pie in that it is incredibly efficient power with a downside.
Yeah,
Which-
that's
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
that's,
can be very good in decks that play cards first, and then instead of moving the card back to the next face-off, they just replay something new. Trouble Shoes comes to mind, right? You just eat it and you add the power to the new card.
sure, I can
Oh.
see something like that. Or even like a Lily. A Lily would be a good choice. However,
Schadenfreude.
yeah, Minuet Schadenfreude,
But he
Soren.
died. Oh, sorry. No, he is retired before anything would be able to use it. Any of
Well,
those cards would be able to make use of
If
it.
he's
so
sent or moved home, yeah.
Perhaps hasty Simpson snails would be a better choice. 'Cause then
Right.
yeah. But really, I think people are more concerned about the drawback than they need to be. Yes, the drawback means that you can only use him for a turn or two, maybe three if you haven't been able to DFO. But the thing is I view him basically as just temporary power. Compare him to, say, Savoir Faire, who is 4 power the turn that you play him, and then 2 power, and then you also get inspired, sure, but let's ignore that part for now.
Ignore that part. Best keyword ever.
But this is very similar to a friend that's dropped while you have Octavia main in
Right,
play, right?
yeah.
Sure.
You spend 2 and you get 4
I
power
think-
for it.
I think actually the best comparison is probably going to be Spitfire, who is 6 power for 3 cost, right? Twice as much. Same
And
here.
Spitfire creates additional bodies. I think you'd make the better argument with Aloe.
Well, you didn't let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. The reason I'm using that comparison specifically is because you wind up with these extra bodies. Now, yes, there are other advantages to having extra bodies, but typically you play Spitfire, you have your DFO, everyone comes home. Now you've got all these bodies at home that you're just retiring.
yes.
They're
What's
gone.
going away first? That's right. It's the Pegasus tokens.
Yeah.
Bye, Scoots.
So a lot of times I see, like, you're going to play Zephyr Breeze, you're going to have a DFO. He will contribute his power to the face-off, unlike Marble. Then you hopefully win the face-off, and then you had 6 friends already, or 5 friends if you only have a 4 home limit main or whatever, and you have to retire him, and that's fine. You were going to retire a friend anyway. Sure, you probably weren't going to retire the 4 power friend, but you got your value out of him. Like he's just like, think of him as like an event, kind
Sure.
of.
I'd
An
also,
event that might stick around for a turn or two.
he also gets the benefit from Conductor's Baton, which is hilarious.
Yes, he does get the benefit from Conductor's Baton.
So
And that's just what he looks like before we look at experienced.
sure.
And we don't know what experienced is, but
There's been a lot of interesting guesses.
there have been a lot
It
of
could
theories.
make it even worse.
It could,
It could.
in theory, it could make it worse. It could be like Slender Pony keyworded, but I
When
don't.
you confront this card, move this. Oh, no. When you confront this card's problem, move it home to score points equals to its
Oh,
problem.
cool! It's just it's just RTO keyworded. That's fair.
If this card is dismissed, you lose the game.
Well, good. He's not being dismissed. He's being retired, so we're okay.
Yep, seems fine.
See, yep.
Now,
Seems
Bugle, you have a theory on experience. Do you want to talk about that briefly?
This is actually Foxy Tail Pony's theory from the Reddit. He or she, I'm not sure, mentioned that they think that the keyword is This card gets +1 power for each card with the same name, maybe same title, in your discard pile, which would play in very nicely with him because he's going to go to your discard pile, which means the first one is 4 power, but then the second one is 5 power, and the third one is 6 power. And the reason that I think that this theory has more weight to it than the other theories that I've seen is because of a card back from Crystal Games called Doctor Who's Experienced Equine, who basically has that as his ability.
Okay. And this is not the first time we've seen this in card games.
Right,
You and I
yeah.
were just having a discussion earlier in card games like Magic. We have
Yeah.
seen what would eventually become keywords in the game that first started as cards with a particular name, whether
Right.
it be
Well-
fear or unearth or whatever it happens to be. There are
Yeah.
multiple examples.
And then Devour was the best
Devour-
example that we found,
Right.
because there's no card called Devour, but there are a lot of cards with Devour in the name that include sacrificing a creature, which is what the keyword is.
Right, exactly. And so we have a similar thing going here with Doctor Who. So that, I mean, it seems like a theory that could have some weight to it and would be an interesting kind of synergistic effect with Zephyr Breeze's retiring
Right.
thing. That being said, even if we ignore the experience keyword, there's still some ways to kind of cheat with this card, as Zephyr cheats in life, or has cheated in life.
Well, before we get to that, did we want to talk about more theories about what experienced could mean?
Sure.
I
Yeah,
think
let's do
Leo
that.
and myself have very similar theories where it gets more power either. I don't remember what yours was. Mine was on confronting the problem.
I have just said being in play. But
Like
very
every
similar, like you said.
turn, just gain a power counter. That seems
Yeah.
very strong.
Ugh,
It does seem very strong.
move
but
over
again,
Diligent.
the second that this goes home,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but
exactly. They
they're not going to put
disappears.
this keyword on only one friend.
Right.
That would be bad plan.
But maybe
no,
they
it's
won't
There's
be
a
as
whole
powerful
cycle
as a
of
2 for 4.
friends.
Hey,
Whole
we
cycle that self-retire.
have a friend that has. No, never mind. No, we don't, because other friends have abilities. I was going to say Rarity's the only friend with immediate as a keyword, but no, the other ones have activated abilities.
Or keep in mind, maybe other friends in the cycle happen to have really high costs with low power. You have a 3-cost, 1 power friend that gets a +1 counter every turn. Like it's a little more reasonable. Yet, I don't think it's as reasonable as, like we said, Equestrian, Equine. I forget.
experience Equine.
Yeah, experience deck one.
So
There we go.
The one major problem I have with that is that the Doctor Who's line, if you will, tends to be very discard focused. So that kind of made sense there.
That's true. Most cards that Doctor Who's have that
I
have
mean, 2
featured
of them?
Doctor Who's. No, more than 2. Well, yeah, 2. But it was okay, so you had the looting effect as well. So you had Premier Doctor Who's, you had Crystal Games Doctor Who's, and then you had the draw 2, discard 2.
Sure.
Railer61, no, the theory that Bugle had and that Foxtail Pony? Was that the individual?
Foxy Tail Pony.
Foxtail Pony mentioned was that it would check for cards with the same name or the same title, not the same trait. So it would have to be another Zephyr Breeze, or perhaps even another Zephyr Breeze quitter.
Right, yeah. Yeah, title would mean just Zephyr Breeze. Name would mean Zephyr Breeze Quitter.
So there's a lot of
No,
different things experience could do.
Yeah, I think it would be more interesting if it was just title, because then we could see, like, a Fluttershy with Experienced who gets buffed by all of your Fluttershies in the discard.
We'll have to see. Title
Then-
hasn't
then you could
been
have-
used quite
Yeah.
as often, but or at least not in general terms like that. It's normally looked for a
Right.
specific title. So
Yeah, a name.
Especially not recently.
Wait, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Who's the only one that actually references title?
No. The whole
No, we
cycle
have the
of
double flip cards from
There-
Premiere.
yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
the
so the,
whole cycle of the Wild and the Coddle friends. The
Yes.
the 3-color or 2-color friends.
Yeah, all of them.
Clearly, I was not around during premiere.
Well, that's
Although that whole cycle is terrible.
yeah. It's
We also have the Lyra friend that checks for a bonbon
uh-huh.
Yes,
Ah.
and
or finds a bonbon. Yeah.
Where's our lemony gem that checks for a minty fresh
Right? No.
or
It's not
mint
yes,
julep?
Julep.
Mint julep, yes.
yes, let's get that going.
Man, I would love that.
And
We
to
also
play,
have
please.
we have the Vinyl and Octavia that get checked to see if the opponent has the other one.
Oh, that's true. Those are interesting.
And more recently, we have the Cutie Mark Crusader cycles that check for name and
Oh, yeah.
subtitle.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's true. Full.
that's
full name.
true. So that's not name and subtitle. That is title and
Title and
subtitle,
subtitle,
or
yes.
name.
Or
Yes.
just name. But yes, it needs to be called out specifically as title and subtitle because most of the time that's actually very rare. And I think
Yes.
that's the only example.
And then
Mhm.
there's like the generic cadence, like get one with the same name.
Yeah,
Or with the same. Is she with the same name?
She
or same
says
title?
same name.
she
so,
says same name. Has to be the exact same
Okay.
card.
So yeah, Sips and
Yeah.
Snails problem solvers can't find you a whatever the heck other Sips and Snails are. I don't know.
The ones that aren't played.
There's other ones.
The hasty one's fine.
Nice. And I guess there's also Goldie Delicious, but anyway.
Actually,
Right.
I think there is only 2 Snips and Snails. Everything else is either Snips or Snails.
No, we have 1 Snips, 1 Snails, and then I think 6 Snips and Snails.
There have been
There
quite a
are-
few.
Jeez.
There are a number of them. The problem is that there's only one good one. Anyway.
So, what do we do before we know what this keyword does in order to try to make this card work to our advantage and maybe try to play around its potential downside? There's a few things we can do. Of course, one
Pair
of
it
the-
with orange.
yeah, pair it with orange is a great way to do it because orange can stop things from being moved. There's the hazmat suit you can play if it would be sent home. You know, it just sticks around there. That seems pretty good.
Or
Then
you
you
can just
lose the
straight up play
hazmat suit.
bats.
Well, yeah. Bats, yeah. Bats would work.
Tricking the trickster.
Tricking Trickster.
Mhm.
All kinds of options that would be there. We could also see some stuff with white, specifically with Dressed Up.
Right. Orange has that too, keep in mind, with clipped wings.
Uh-huh. That's true. Unfortunately, Mod Pie, Let's Play Camo can't shut down your own friends. I've looked
No.
at that card more times than I can count, hoping it could do that, and
No,
it's-
nor will Iron Will.
it still can't do that. Although there is
The-
that problem.
It is.
There is
Uni-
Ununicorned, but Ununicorned won't help you.
I mean,
It's a starting problem.
Well,
It-
sure, it is a starting problem, but Ununicorned won't help you because
Zephyr
once
bases the Pegasus.
Zephyr is at home, he has his ability, and then he says, "Oh, I was sent home," and then he goes.
Look.
Retires.
This is easy enough. You just have to bend the game rules sufficiently to get a Trixie highest level unicorn in your home, and then
Right. So this was something we were discussing earlier. Bugle, you want to touch on Trixie and Zephyr's interaction just briefly?
Yeah. So Zephyr's interaction with Trixie, and by extension, Ununicorned,
or Iron Will,
and
or
Iron
anything
Will.
else that causes yes.
things that turn friends off at a location. If he is moved or sent home from that location to a location where he will regain his abilities, then unfortunately he is just retired because his ability checks at location, not
You mean
Or
at destination?
at destination, not the starting point. So if he moved from Ununicorned to home and there was something at home that also stopped his abilities, I don't think we have such a card.
Not
But
yet.
if there was, then that would
Right.
would prevent him from being retired.
Right, and you can see that with cards like, I think the example you gave was Wildfire from Premier. If you move Wildfire
Yes.
up to a problem where there is a Trixie, an Iron Will, whatever it happens to be, Wildfire will not trigger. But if you have a Wildfire at that particular problem and you move her away, then she will. Provided you move her to a problem and not back to your home.
And the problem also has to not have a different Iron Will.
Yes. So, all those requirements. I do just want to say, I really like the top-down design of this card. This is pretty good. Zephyr was an interesting character and one that many people loved to hate for a while. And this
Accurate.
it pretty much encapsulated exactly what he's about. In that he will go up there and he's going to put forth this burst of energy towards one particular thing and then just call it quits.
Yeah.
Should we point out the subtitle that Erica first identified? That I remember is it's called Quitter.
Yeah, he quits.
That's hilarious and amazing.
It's pretty good.
This card makes me angry. I just want to punch him.
It is also amazing artwork too. I love the visuals for this guy as much as you hate him. He looks amazing.
So there is one other way to prevent him from quitting immediately, and that is to keep him in school with cheerily break it up.
Yes, you could just end the face-off, which would be...
Oh, God. That's some funny flavor, though.
Right?
It's pretty amusing. So,
of course, then you lose your cheerily, who is probably of more value, but
whatever. Value in limited and constructed out of 5. Why doesn't someone else go first?
So, I'm thinking in limited, he's actually really useful.
Mm-hmm.
In limited, I think he's a solid 3.5, yeah.
I think he's a 4 in limited.
Maybe? He's
power,
good.
4 power for 2 action tokens is
Yeah.
really efficient.
I mean,
And
I did take marbles when I played yellow, and then I lost because I was playing yellow and didn't have any removal, but...
Well, yeah, that's your primary problem there.
But in terms of constructed, he's okay.
I can't really see this showing up in constructed.
I think he can see play in constructed, but it's going to be glass
okay,
cannon aggro.
Caveat, we don't know what experience does.
Yeah.
Most of us don't know what experience does.
We'll have to see what else yellow brings to the table as well. There are a couple interesting things here with the Fluttershy main in that, you can be in a situation where he provides you with a tremendous amount of power towards confronting every turn, and Fluttershy can give you that one extra little boost that you need to get over the top without putting yourself in a position where your opponent could start a single problem face-off there next turn.
Right, yeah.
So, that's pretty cute.
I think there are decks that will consider him. Especially your hyper aggro glass cannon decks. I'm just going to throw power at this problem and confront it, and I don't care about my friends once they've gone home. At that point, I don't care.
Other than the lady,
RTO.
because you're running RTO.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right. Overall, pretty...
So I think it's fine. We have cards like Aloe seeing play. Now, granted, Aloe has no wreck, but I think it's a very similar space to Aloe.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it kind of synergizes with the direction they're going with yellow, where they're really trying to push that power efficiency in friends.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yellow seems to be getting min-max cards.
Which is fine by me. At least it has a direction now.
Min-max and critters.
I'm okay with this.
And doing things that other colors do less efficiently.
So many puppies.
We need more puppies.
It's not going to make you feel less dirty for
We
having
need
to
more
play Zephyr as a
instant
character.
speed. We need more immediate speed puppies.
We're not... No. Please, no, the puppies.
But I hear you on that, Cheese. Immediate in yellow is probably the biggest request that I have for this new set.
Yeah, it would be nice to see yellow power up Fluttershy.
Eh.
So these are the 3 spoilers we've seen so far since we last had our discussion stream, and honestly, it's pretty nice to see. These don't feel like, I don't feel let down by any of these cards. I feel like all of them are at least limited playable, and several of them could potentially see play in certain types of constructed decks, and I don't think that any of these have been at extreme rarities like, super rare, ultra rare, anything along those lines because of the framework. Ara, that's what you were saying, right?
Well, I'm
Yeah,
actually going to retract that one at this point because, so just as an example here, let's take Should quit dropping stuff. Let's take Zephyr. So normally keywords have reminder text, and at the same time, if you're following this on Twitter instead of the stream, there's Mr. and Mrs. Shy, where your friends at home have Swift. Normally you'd get the reminder text explaining what Swift does. And the same thing would be true of Experienced. However, if you look at the template of the card, there is not a whole lot of space there. Like, you cannot get, I don't think, a reasonable ability in that tiny little amount of space. So I do not consider these I don't consider these aren't final, both because of that and the fact that they don't have the numbers or the copyrights or anything else on them that they should.
Also, this card is missing the word cost.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That space there above the 2 where you're like, boy, that kind of looks weird, that's what's going on there.
And that's different from older cards too, because it normally has an outline. No, I haven't spent a ton of time staring at card templates. Why do you ask?
It's also possible that to get the reminder text on, they might shorten his flavor text.
I don't know. That flavor text is important. I need a Zephyr rant on my Zephyr Breeze card.
No, I think you can get a line break or 2 in there without messing that up.
Yeah.
Overall, though,
We'll see.
I am pretty pleased with the way the set is developing. You know, we haven't seen massive releases yet, but hopefully we'll start getting some spoilers with greater frequency now. And I like the way it's shaping up. Overall impressions?
I'm curious. I was going to say, I'm curious about what direction people see so far of the spoilers that we've gotten and what direction the set is heading in terms of strategies.
I don't think we can make that assessment yet. There's just not enough.
Going off of the very few cards that we've seen, blue wants control, orange wants control, pink wants control, purple wants farming, white wants control, and yellow wants aggro.
I have to agree.
Based solely off of the very, very few cards that we've seen.
Yep. Blue could also do mid-range. Mid-range aggro with the friend that it has.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, the yellow stuff is just screaming aggro, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Again, at least yellow chose the direction.
Can we make BBZ a thing again? Right now.
No.
Maybe?
No.
We'll have to see. Well,
So I did see a comment in the stream right now in the Twitch feedback about asking for experience be +1 for each Pegasi in the discard pile. So running with...
we already addressed
we
that.
already talked about that. Yeah, we
My bad.
That's okay. So, alright, you were talking about having worked on or taken a look at card templates incredibly closely.
Let me tell you about pixels.
Alright, tell us about them pixels.
I've seen a lot of them.
Have you?
Yes.
You can tell
From
by
the
the
pixels?
I can tell.
And from seeing a lot
You
of
can
shops
see
in
some
your
of the
day?
pixels. And seeing some shops in my day. And in fact, making a few of our own.
Oh?
Yes.
So, Cheese, what's coming up that we might need to be doing custom card art for?
Well, there's this
Look
little
at us.
con on the West Coast called BabsCon.
BabsCon,
Which-
BabsCon, we never use this song.
No.
Which is actually quite a large con, and we're going to have some CCG events there. One of these, we're going to be doing all 3 days, is Villain Challenge.
Villain Challenge.
Is that where you slap someone in the face with a gauntlet and go, "Knave, I challenge thee to a duel"?
I mean, if you want to do it that way, that's okay.
BabsCon does
Just-
not endorse the slapping opponents in the face.
BabsCon does not endorse the slapping.
Indeed.
No to Sim.
Sim's
Didn't
not
you
endorse the
just
slapping either.
say that they could do it?
No. We said nothing. Anyway.
You
so-
do know this is being recorded, right?
Don't care. Anyway, so enough playing coy here. As you may have heard, there's a con. It's called BabsCon. It's on the West Coast. It is in San Francisco. And when is this happening again? I forget.
Easter,
2020.
Easter. Yes, 2020. What?
April, I think it's 14th
Yes.
through...
April 14th through the 16th.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of stuff there. We've got Harmony tournaments. We've got Pauper tournaments. We've got some limited events like Team Sealed, which is a blast.
Team Sealed.
Team Sealed is the
Nice.
best.
And most
Nightmare.
importantly, we have Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm looking forward
the
to this.
Nightmare Tournament is going to be awesome.
And by awesome, we mean probably the shortest tournament ever run.
It's going to be absolutely terrible, and you should all join
Well-
because it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be incredible.
Games will either be 5 minutes or max out the time limit.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, so what we're here to talk about is Villain Challenge. We've seen Nightmare Moon, the old baddie that she is, but we've had some recent developments here too, and a new challenger has emerged.
Mm-hmm.
It's King Sombra.
Yeah.
And I think we've mentioned a little bit about this in the past, and we have some more spoilers of our own to drop, I believe.
Yes, we do. Now, we have previously shown the start side of King Sombra for his upcoming Villain Challenge premiere at BabsCon. So let's take a look at this card here. Much like Nightmare Moon, King Sombra is a 2-color main with a glorious color scheme, might I say, that I'm sure took only about 2 minutes to throw together and did not have to be meticulously picked over so that it didn't look gaudy. Ara's eye is twitching. I can feel it from several states away. So King Sombra, on his start side, is a 1 orange and pink power unicorn royalty main with a home limit of 5 on the start side. And just like Nightmare Moon, the player controlling Sombra gains 2 additional action tokens during their action step and draws an additional card during their draw step so that they can keep up with those, 3 pesky challengers. During face-offs, your crystal friends here, so at Sombra's location, have competitive X, where X is the number of your crystal friends here. So this gets pretty significantly stronger. 1 friend gives you competitive 1, 2 friends give you competitive 2 each for 4, 3 friends give you competitive 3 each for 9. It is exponential.
It very
And-
rapidly gets silly.
It does. So likely there will be some way to create these or play these crystal friends. We'll have to see about that. And then at the start of a problem face-off involving this card, we turn this card over. So cool. We've seen this before, but now we'd like to showcase a little bit more about what you're actually going to be doing in Sombra. For those of you who have participated in the Nightmare Moon Villain Challenge, you knew that your win condition was to get out the 6-element friends. And you could not play them in your own deck lists, you had to bring them into play through game mechanics that were exclusive to that Villain Challenge. King Sombra is a little bit different. Ara, what are we doing?
Well, it's kind of like territory control,
Okay.
which I guess that's maybe a poorly defined term. So the Villain Challenge stuff all has custom problem decks. And here, what we're doing is we're saying if you win a problem face-off, the problem deck rotates in your favor. However, if you lose a problem face-off, the problem deck rotates against you. So instead of taking the top card and putting it on the bottom card comes to the top.
Okay. And this is needing to be tracked somehow, so you came up with a pretty nifty visualization tool for this.
And we came up with a way.
Hey, I think it
I'm
works.
not gonna. It does work, but
So here's an example of one of the problems that would appear in King Sombra's problem deck for the King Sombra Villain Challenge. This is Return of the King. And here we see a keyword, Tyrannical 4, and I'm sure that's completely irrelevant, just like Experienced.
no, it's totally irrelevant.
And this problem says, when this problem enters play, you may retire any number of friends. For each friend retired this way, you gain 1 action token, and each opponent discards 1 card. And then it has this nifty little slider along the left side. What's that about?
Much like all of the problems in these problem decks. So the way that you win and lose in King Sombra's Villain Challenge is by getting to the top or bottom of the problem deck. So you start in the middle, and if you manage to win a number of face-offs in a row, you end up getting further towards your goal of, in King Sombra's case, taking over Equestria. Or in the Challenger's case, making Sombra taste the rainbow.
Boom.
Boom. So the slider over here
I believe
represents...
it's shine like rainbows.
No. We're obviously not going to go and do the rest of that little skit, but anyway. So the closer this gets to the ends of the slider here, the closer you are towards either winning or losing. As you can see here, there's the crystal heart on one end, which is obviously the challengers succeeding in their goal to introduce Sombra to the magic of friendship.
Forcibly
And
through his eye holes.
yes. And on the other end here, we have Sombra taking over the universe. So this is just a nice... no, you are correct. Somebody is not italic.
As though it were to be emphasized.
Yes.
Yes. The convention is you use italics for emphasis. Unless it's already in italics, then you remove the italics.
Right.
Yeah, so, this guy this one time made this ring, and then he lost it, Can't keep track of his magical artifacts.
It was ages ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so the interesting thing about this problem is that since it's when it enters playability and we have this whole back and forth control going on, you might trigger this problem several times in the course of one game.
Yes, you can trigger problems on enters play and occasionally on leaves play effects multiple times in the course of a game. Given what the abilities are on some of the problems, this can lead to hilarious situations that, well they're great if you're on the challenger side.
Let's just say the problems won't be the only thing being triggered.
No.
But we have this keyword here, tyrannical. And from what I understand, tyrannical is actually going to be present on all problems on King Sombra's side, apart from the winning and losing ones.
There's obviously no point in needing it there.
Right. So tyrannical is a keyword that says that the challenger, or I'm sorry, not the challenger, the villain.
The villain.
Yes, the villain player may, during their main phase, if they are meeting that problem's confront requirements, in this case, having 3 orange power and 3 pink power there, and there are no face-up troublemakers at that problem, they may spend points equal to the tyrannical value. And this is a mechanic that is unique to Villain Challenge. We saw it in Nightmare Moon with the challengers having to spend points to bring the element friends into play. Now we've got, in this case, the villains spending points off of their problem. What happens when they spend these points?
Well, when you spend these points, as you might guess, King Sombra really likes getting into face-offs because he's usually pretty good about winning them. So you spend those points, and we start a problem face-off at this problem.
Wait, a problem face-off in the main phase?
Yep.
Oh, that seems good.
It does seem good. In fact, if your opponent doesn't even have anything there, or you've been banking action tokens for a couple of turns, Sombra can clean one of these problems out and win pretty handily.
And this will further move the problem deck in his favor.
Yes, because it starts a problem face-off.
Well, only if he wins. I mean,
that's true.
The challengers
Sombra
might
wins,
have a trick up their sleeve.
Yes.
Like Zippo will.
Zippo. Oh my. Sorry, triggered. Anyway, so you start a problem face-off here. If you win it, this advances you towards your goal of taking over the universe.
Yes,
Well,
Sonnet Scroll.
it does seem yes,
like the opposite of good.
So you should probably make sure that the villain can't do this if you're a challenger here. Or if you're piloting the villain, you should abuse this as often as possible.
Which, to the best of my knowledge, most of us villain players have so far.
Yes.
Clearly the correct strategy for the villain here is to give the opponents false hope, get all the way to one problem away from winning, then spend a lot of points in one main phase, and a lot of action tokens in one main phase to just win all of the problem face-offs. All of them.
Now, this also seems interesting because you're starting a problem face-off using this keyword. The consequences of winning a problem face-off, in addition to the problem rotating favorably to you, involves scoring a problem's bonus points. Now, this problem doesn't have any bonus points, but I would imagine some other problems might. So you could actually get kind of a refund on your tyrannical cost?
In certain circumstances, yes.
Oh, that seems explosively strong. How are the challengers
Yeah.
supposed to combat this?
Well, the challengers, well, Curse Cards, of course, has a good solution there.
Sure, run Cheerily and Recursion seems fine. Waking Nightmare Villain Challenge seems good.
No, I think this is the time to bring out Hide, Faint, Repeat, honestly.
What, for
Yes.
troublemaker faces?
Just, prevent them from ever
it
dealing with
also-
the troublemakers.
And from ever, it also does this with Cheerily.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Cheerily and Hide and Squeak.
Yeah, bringing back 2-year-old decks, the best.
Oh, yeah.
It's not 2 years old.
It's coming up on 2 years old.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the original version would have been 2 years ago, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would have. Anyway, we're getting a little off track here.
Yep. So you were saying the challengers are going to need something to combat this.
The challengers also have a keyword, although I don't think we're ready to spoil it just yet.
No,
Not yet.
but it exists.
So so we're not just completely throwing the challengers to the dogs here. The diamond dogs, as it were.
Yes.
We're going to
And since both factions have their own deck and they both have their win condition and loss condition, it can be intense. Do you decide to go for a race and just focus on one problem, or do you try and control both problems?
Yeah, this is an interesting mechanic that we're going to try out with the Sombra Villain Challenge at BabsCon and beyond that was not present in Nightmare Moon. Nightmare Moon was kind of an all or nothing. You either got the element friends in play and you won, or you didn't, and that was that. However,
Nightmare Moon had a problem where the games would try to go for about 3 hours at a time thanks to a certain puppy-loving pony.
Yeah.
Puppies are the best.
Puppies
Everyone
are-
likes puppies.
These are the worst. And
So Sombra also has the ability to, if necessary, close out the game early. So as we've shown here, the Villain's Problem deck has this slider on it representing progress through the deck. The Challenger Problems also have a slider on it representing progress through their deck. And as we mentioned earlier, you win by getting to the top or bottom of either deck. So ignoring the other problem and only pursuing your own might work, but you have to remember that it's then a race to see who can get to the bottom of their deck the fastest.
And likely, Sombra's going to have the advantage if you're leaving him to his own machinations.
Yes. So the numbers on the sliders here represent a way to score or determine the progress of both sides when the game needs to end, possibly ahead of time.
And in order to do this, all the challengers need to do is take the value shown on their face-up problem at the end of the specified time limit and subtract or compare it to the value of the villain's problem. And if
As
the
long as
challengers... Yep, sorry, go ahead.
Yep, as long as the challengers have made more progress than Sombra has, they win the game.
And that's that. And we were talking about crystal characters with Sombra earlier. You put a lot of love and effort into one of these. Should we look at one?
Yes. Yes, we should.
Let's do so.
I don't know. Do we need to give them more depressing images?
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, this is King Sombra you're talking about here. He was not exactly a nice pony.
I don't know.
He was a bad pony, and he was sent to his room. For a very long time. Yes, so this is an example of a Crystal Friend token.
It is super sad.
It is very sad.
So sad.
Sad pony is sad. But you'll notice it has some reminder text based on King Sombra's ability, which is helpful. So we've got this crystal pony token with no color and no cost, so something's going to be creating crystal friend tokens?
Something's going to be creating crystal friend tokens. In fact, most of the time, Sombra has too many of these.
Nah, Sombra
Far
never has.
too many.
enough. Never
I mean,
enough.
that's true.
Couldn't we have just used Kevin?
No, Kevin has colors and is not crystal. Unless he
What,
wants
this-
to be. And then I guess he could be? I don't know. Anyway, that covers just a little bit more of a glimpse at the King Sombra villain challenge. But to kind of wrap things up here, let's go back briefly to the discussion of Defenders of Equestria. We've talked about the cards we've seen so far. It's difficult to get a full glimpse on the direction of the set, but overall we like what we see. But there's probably a few things we'd really like to see come up in the future. Notably, Bugle, you suggested characters. What characters do we want to see?
Yes. For those of you who watched the most recent season, which I imagine is very few of you, I mean,
Yeah,
most of us only play the game. We don't watch the show,
I
right?
I binge watched it just to make sure I could talk about it.
Slash sarcasm.
But yes,
How you doing there, Zephyr?
there were a lot of new and fun characters this most recent season, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see who Enterplay decides to have show up. Now, we've already seen a few, like Plaid Stripes, and of course Zephyr and the
Spoons.
Squizzard.
Spoons.
But
Bones.
Spoons.
but
Bones.
we've also there's so many more characters to see. So I was thinking we could go around and say which character introduced in season 6 we most want to see in set 7.
Sure, seems fine.
And for me, the character I most want to see would be a friend, and that would be Saffron Masala. I love Saffron Masala. Seeing a different ethnicity of pony was amazing, and Saffron was just so happy and eager to help, and I just adore her. She was an amazing character. A great way to end the first half of the season before we had the cliffhanger, or not the cliffhanger, hiatus. I just loved everything about that episode, and the only true way to cement that to me would be to give Saffron a friend. I suppose her dad could also have a friend, but I really just want to see Saffron.
I could see him as a pair, like the cakes, maybe.
That could happen too, yeah. Though I think they're different colors, so unless it was a multicolor card.
Yeah. Living Silver.
Yeah. As I'm looking at the comments right now, before the stream, my answer would have been Thorax. I think that's the most common answer right now that I've heard from all the pony fans that I know. And most people seem to agree that Thorax would have a yellow color as well, just because of the kindness and.
Yeah.
Does anyone here not want to see Thorax as a character?
At this point, just to spite people, yes, because look, the set symbol is a changeling. There is no way he is not going to be in there.
Commentary's Magic's views do not necessarily reflect those of Arcats, who is just designed to trigger everyone in chat.
No, yeah. Like, if we did
We
not
will
have a
have-
Thorax card, I would be shocked.
We will have an
There's
Ultra
no
Thorax. Like,
Yeah, I think Thorax will be an ultra rare yellow mane.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
pretty
think
likely.
because of the intense demand for Thorax, really leads me to support Bugle in really wanting to see a Saffron card. I think you just won me over with your argument right now. I'm pretty on board with that right now. That's my feeling for the moment. So
He's entitled to his opinion, Aura. Let him have his opinion.
I changed my response based on Bugle's argument. So there we go.
I mean, it's not an argument.
It's
Well,
an idea. It's a
Yeah.
thought.
It was-
and I
it
you
like
had
was
it.
a
justification. You had
It
justification.
It was
is a
good enough to
wish.
win Living Silver over, so there you go.
Well done.
Okay. Well,
I
how about
guess.
you, Ara? Who
Yeah,
would
Mr.
you like
Stick
to
in the
see?
mud.
The answer
before
is
it's Saffron.
obviously Rainbow Shine.
Of course, the answer is Rainbow
She
Shine.
wasn't introduced.
No, I don't. I don't particularly care for any of the new characters over just more good repeats of old characters. Like, obviously, I'm sitting here going, we need more Rainbow Shine and more Queen Chrysalis. Our queen is best queen.
Well, we already know both of those are in the set.
But what about Cocaine Griffin?
Well, see, I wasn't going to put it that way, but yes, Cocaine Griffin is clearly a card that I'm kind of looking forward to, if only for the insane, just everything about the card.
Is that actually a nickname she's gotten?
Yes!
I've never seen that
Yes.
before.
Yes.
Like, look at the poor girl. It's like she's going around and she's just like, I'm on so much cocaine right now.
Oh my
And
god.
she's just like bouncing off the walls because she's so high on life.
She's just Pinkie Pie in Griffin form.
No,
Like,
Pinkie
it's
Pie.
contagious.
Pinkie Pie cannot touch Gabby's level of energy.
Well,
I disagree. Sir.
At her peak, Gabby maintained that level for 21 minutes on television. Pinkie at least has deflating moments. All right, all right.
Gabby did too.
It was much
no,
shorter.
okay.
Anyway,
Pinkie just uses all her energy to punch through the fabric of space-time.
okay, that's fair. Pinkie does need to expend more energy.
I mean, Pinkie bounced up a mountain. Bounced. Like, constantly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So you would like to see some of the recurring characters in the CCG come out there. Is that right,
Yes,
Nora?
but if you're going to make me pick a new one, yeah, we're going to go with Gabby just because I cannot wait to see what kind of insane stuff Rob puts on the card.
Is there any chance that Gabby would be any color besides pink?
Maybe blue? I don't know. I could see her as blue, perhaps.
You could even push her into yellow.
Yeah, you could with the kindness. I mean, she was also very generous. She could be in white.
Clearly yeah. No, okay, hold on. Colorless card. Done.
Kevin? Ooh! 3-power Kevin?
Yeah, 6 power, yeah. 3 power
3-power
Kevin.
Kevin with immediate exhaust this card to become a new color.
Cheese, who do you want to see?
I don't even remember who was in the season.
You are the worst.
How you doing, Zephyr?
I mean, let's see.
Just make up a name of a pony and then claim it's a background character in some particular episode, and I don't think any of us can contest it. It's probably fine.
You hadn't even heard of him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I could start listing characters at you.
Sure.
Here, we'll get a Zesty Gourmand character.
Please no.
What?
Yeah.
Please
What?
no.
I mean,
Daring-
there's Ember, there's Quibble Pants,
Daring to
which I'm
body
pretty
pillow?
sure.
Wait, Ember is from this season?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, wait, the body pillow is from this season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, no, the body pillow then.
Okay.
Do you even watch the
That's
show?
not a character.
Jeez.
It is a
I
character.
mean, to be fair,
It's a character in my
this
heart.
season was a long time ago.
Okay, it was.
And
And
I'll go get the bloody link for it.
Body pillow is my waifu.
yes, but no, like, we have bags of flour that are characters in the show.
Right, at least this
So-
one has a personality. Or, you know, is at least personified.
They all had a personality. It was all Pinkie Pie. Granted, Boulder
Boulder.
didn't really have a personality,
That's true.
and Smarty Pants.
Boulder's hungry.
We also had, who was it? Who was the apple tree? Bloomberg.
Bloomberg?
Yeah,
Bloomberg, yeah.
he also did
That's
not have
just
a personality.
Fluttershy.
It is Fluttershy. That's fair. Yeah, there are, point being, there are a lot of characters. Chat, what do you think? Some of you have said Ember, and yeah, Ember would be a good
Mhm.
one.
Vapor Trail.
I don't remember Vapor Trail.
Was from the Wonderbolts recruits episode.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm surprised just a solo mention for Ember. That's from Course Chords from Meticulous Talks fame. In my opinion, I would have thought Ember would be the most highly demanded of all the.
I think that's another one that's just kind of given.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
pretty
there's
much.
Quibble Pants, which I'm pretty sure is Grandpa's most demanded.
No, well, only
Oh,
if
you
he's
just
with
want the
pillow.
stupid body pillow.
Yes, I'm with Cheese on this one. Body pillow or bust.
Yeah.
And it has to
Okay,
frighten
okay.
your parents. This is
Oh.
this is the mechanic it must have.
No, look, chat's got it now.
Okay, cool. Good. My wish has been
Okay,
granted. I'm now satisfied with this set.
And I guess that we should probably also address a certain finale, which does imply
Nope.
we might
No.
see some characters from that.
No.
Nope.
Great.
Most
Would you call these characters powerful and or great?
No, I was just thinking of, Princess
No.
Celestia and Princess Luna,
It's just going to be Flurry Heart.
Princess Twilight,
And Princess
Very hard.
Cadence.
and yeah, Princess Cadence was there
Is
too.
Princess Celestia really mentioned in every single episode?
No.
No.
Okay, up until season 3.
When was the last time you watched this show?
Apparently season 3.
I finally finished watching season 6 not too long ago.
Okay, that's fair.
Wait, so you couldn't remember it when you just recently watched? Oh, okay.
Well, no. It was the last 10 minutes of season 6 that I had delayed on for a long time.
To be fair, Spider Chrysalis is the only like
Our
that.
queen.
Yeah, best queen.
Best queen.
So yeah, so we're pretty sure we're going to see Chrysalis as an epic, probably a villain, right?
I
Is there
don't
any
know. I don't know if I'd necessarily go that far. Although it would be pretty justified if she did appear like that. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
she was big bad evil pony. So
well,
and
we're
she got
almost-
away to be big bad next time too, and she's learning.
Oh,
She'll get it right
Flurry
next
Heart as
time.
a friend. Sunburst would also be a good friend.
Flurry
Yeah,
Heart as a
Sunburst,
main.
actually.
Flurry Heart is a main that has no abilities.
No, Flurry. Are you kidding? Flurry Heart would be the most broken main, man. Exhaust, destroy a friend.
Not
Yes.
dismiss, destroy.
Yes, destroy. You pick up the card and rip it.
Exhaust to Chaos Capital an opponent's resource.
Sure, seems fine.
Or no, what is it? Chaos Orb?
Chaos Orb. Yeah,
Chaos Orb,
Yes.
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll
Um,
get banned.
No,
No,
it's,
well-
it's totally fair.
So that's okay. So this is the secret plan. We're going to distract Rob with that, and then Rainbow Shine will sneak by.
So how are we distracting? I mean, he made the cards. Well, helped.
Right. Honestly,
Um,
if I could pick one snapshot, like apart from what we've already said, I just want a picture of Fluttershy covered in insects.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
I really want to see the Fluttershy
gathered-
clones as a troublemaker or as an event.
I gathered all the animals in the castle for you, Starlight Glimmer.
What would the event do?
Most important. We want to see more songs.
It makes a puppy
Yes.
every turn.
Yeah,
That's what
songs
it does.
songs would be pretty good. We had some good songs this season. Sweep obviously being at the top of the list.
Yes.
What is the name of the song that
Sweet,
the Cutie
sweet,
Mark
sweet.
Crusaders do the Pinewood Derby race?
Oh, I don't even remember. That was like my least favorite episode of the season.
God, but that
Season
was my
614.
favorite song, though. I love that song.
I don't remember actually. I would love. To,
I have it up right now, actually.
Yeah, I would love to see.
Derby Racers song.
It's going to
Yes.
work.
Yes.
Hithrock
We-
says
There's-
more Trixie.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure every single character who had a major role in the finale is going to have a friend again.
We
Like
need more
every single
Starlight.
one.
Starlight, Sunset Shimmer. More bacon.
We don't need any more
Bacon.
Starlight. Starlight's
Need more bacon.
terrible.
We should have more Starlight.
More Starlight.
Rayler brings up he wants a card that can change a friend's abilities. We are never going to see that. I would like to
That's-
introduce you to a little keyword called teamwork.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not.
It's
happening.
not broken at all.
Well, no.
There
So remember,
was-
teamwork only affects printed abilities.
Right. So if you exchange something with teamwork with something else that also has teamwork, now every friend there has teamwork, probably twice, and that just breaks everything.
No, it's that we've actually looked into this very carefully because
Sombra,
Sombra may know something about this.
maybe. There are 3 levels
Maybe.
of difficulty with Sombra, depending on how badly you want to cheese teamwork.
Yeah.
The third one is really bad.
It's real bad. Don't make Sombra go to tier 3.
Ugh. Anyway.
But overall, there are some exciting opportunities. We've seen some
Yeah.
good cards so far. I'm sure we'll continue
Yeah.
to see some more.
I want to see all of the new characters. All of them.
I'm sure we'll
And,
see quite a few.
Of course, I have to ask, it's a new set. We need to see the girls again.
Of course. I'm sure CC and Flitter will show up.
Who? JK.
I mean, they've not been in every set. They weren't in Equestrian Odysseys, and they weren't in Crystal Games
It's still gonna be.
or Candlelight Nights.
Yeah.
But I think Rob has realized they should be in most sets.
Like Rainbow Shine.
if
I
only
want a
like
set-
Rainbow Shine. And this
Yeah.
is where I
If
put
only
my
so we
Rainbow
can
Shine.
torture them more with flavor text. Like, oh my god, that flavor text on the Phillies.
I want a set that does not have the main 6.
It'd be interesting.
What?
Good luck.
Maybe when the spin-off starts.
Like,
For now, though, I think we've talked about our particular wants and
I think-
desires for.
I think we've gotten there.
Well, I have one final question, if it's okay for people. What do people identify as the non-main 6? The indie, the secondary 6.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders and Princess Luna, Princess Celestia, and Princess Kate. It's done.
Boom.
Applejack's hat.
Yeah.
That pony
Applebloom's bow.
that pony that's usually, wearing Applejack.
Okay.
What's her the orange one?
Yeah. We'll have to see.
All right.
Well,
We're done.
yes. So we've talked a lot about this set, and again, if you joined us at the beginning of the stream, thank you for sticking with us through all the madness here. We're obviously very excited about the upcoming release of Defenders of Equestria. We're also very excited about the opportunities we have to run events at BabsCon from April 14th through the 16th. Please make sure you make it out there if you can. It's going to be a great time.
Even if you can't, show up anyway.
Yes. If you can't show up, just show up.
Yes.
Just do it.
I mean, that's what Pinky would do.
Yeah.
Just tap into your Pinkie Pie teleportation and be in 2 places at once, and you'll be fine.
And if you can't do that, then make sure you follow us here on Twitch, where you can catch all of the live streamed action all weekend long, everything at BabsCon.
Well, not when we're asleep, but
Well, that's not action.
We don't sleep.
We will probably be taking the stream rigged in and out.
It's 021. That's the rule for cons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you did join us at the beginning, remember, please send us an email with your feedback. If you did not join us at the beginning and you're coming in here late, we are doing a special giveaway to one lucky viewer who sends us an email to commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com. The email address is in chat for you here. Send us an email just with your thoughts on the stream, on the content that we provide, with the feedback that you may have for future streams, or honestly what you'd like to see in new cards, or your opinions on existing cards. Anything at all. And one lucky person will be selected to receive a Marks in Time pack drafter from Commentary as Magic. Because we like your feedback and you like cards, in theory. I'm assuming you like cards. If not, welcome to the stream. What are you doing here?
I don't like cards. They get in the way of my card game playing.
But we will, I'm sure, see you all again very soon as we get another 3 spoilers from Interplay and Best Princess. So until then, thank you for joining us this evening, and I don't believe we have any last-minute business.
No.
Well, we could debate for 3 hours over who is best pony, but probably not.
All right,
This isn't a debate.
it's Rainbow Shine.
It's actually our queen.
Ooh.
Oh, see, now we're getting into a debate.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
I am Emperor Bugle.
Cheese.
Big cheese.
Finished beating up the computer, our cat.
And living silver.
And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.